I am Barbara Mostafavinassab. In 1987, I worked for Boeing, and I was a triathlete. Unfortunately, I was in a pretty bad bicycle accident. I suffered serious bone injuries to my neck, my left shoulder, my ribs, and I compressed my vertebrae. After that accident, there were multiple surgeries on my back, on my wrist. I had physical therapy and so many doctor's appointments, shots, medication, and I sunk deeper and deeper into pain. For the next 12 years, I became pain. That's all I was. There was nothing else. As I took more medications, more things broke down in my body. My medical problems multiplied from osteoporosis to osteoarthritis, degenerative disc disease, costochondritis, interstitial cystitis, irritable bowel, diverticulitis, shingles, calcium deposits on my heart and arteries, benign lump in my left breast, and migraines. I needed a cane for support, and I used a walker for any distance. My weight went up to almost 200 pounds. I was no longer part of society because I just stayed in my house. Just getting out of the bed in the morning was so difficult, wondering if I could make it to go to the bathroom, and became increasingly depressed, isolated, and very angry. During one of my surgeries on my knee, I had complications and I developed blood clots, a lot of them. We went back to the hospital and they tried to take care of it with medication. And the next day I went into surgery because it did not work. This time everyone was very quiet. Everyone was white coats, was no music, no one was joking. And you're awake from the waist up. You're aware of what's going on. And I felt warm liquid run down my leg. And I thought, well, this is strange, this is weird. And next thing I knew, I saw my sister-in-law who had recently passed away, and she was wearing a muumuu because we had taken them to Hawaii and she loved it. And she had a drink with lots of umbrellas in it and fruit. I said, Shirley, how are you? Let's go shopping. And she said, no, you can't come with me. I said, why not? She says, you've got work you have to do. I said, I want to go. I was in this beautiful place. I didn't want to go back to that surgery room. All I was a pile of pussy pain. I had no life. I had nothing. I wasn't a human being anymore. I didn't want to go back. And I was back in the room. Later that day, I found out that they had accidentally cut my artery and I had flatlined. After 12 years of being ill, it put us in a financial strain. We had lost all of our investments. We lost all our savings, and we were deeply in debt, on credit card debt, to pay for my medical bills. And then I lost all my physicians because they did not want to take a Medicare person anymore. Fortunately, I found a medical doctor who also believed in alternative medicine and naturopathic. And I started going to him, and he planted seeds of health in me, one at a time. I started to change. At the same time, my granddaughter was born. My daughter had come home pregnant, and I had to take care of this child, so I had to do something outside of myself, not just focus on my pain, my limitations. When she was a year old, I started taking her to the YMCA for swimming lessons, and I decided, well, I can get in the pool. I used to be a triathlete. And I started to swim. Then eventually I would put her into the YMCA daycare for an hour, hour and a half. And I would go into the weight room and I started using the treadmill. 5 minutes. I'd walk in there. I was no longer using my walker, but I would put my cane down and I would walk 5 minutes. And I increased it 6 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And within 6 weeks, I was able to walk without my cane. I thought, wow, this is pretty cool, you know? And this child, this little one, she was one of my angels, as was my doctor. One of the people who came to me and said, open your spirit and you will find a way. One morning I woke up and I said, this stuff's not working. All this medicine, all this running around, it's not working. What can I do to make it better? Sitting on this pity pot was only making things worse. So I became proactive in my healing. Instead of expecting someone to heal me, I began to investigate ways in which I could heal myself. Deepak Chopra's books were one of my first teachers. There are many. But he influenced me, and he said, the mind and the body are like parallel universes. Anything that happens in the mental universe leaves its tracks on the physical one. In other words, we are what we think about most. And all I thought about were my illnesses. I became my illness. That's all I had. Illnesses, that long list. That was my badge. Those were my certifications. Those were my degrees. And how useless and silly that is when there is so much other things to look at, so other many things to see and to feel and to hear. Instead of thinking of all the negative, take those thoughts and transform them into positive. Think of all the things that are good. Simply things like getting up in the morning and being able to take a shower. I have a choice. I have warm and cold water that I can choose. I have soap that I can use. How many people in the world don't even think that? So being grateful for simple things is one way of healing. Being thankful is another. I went and took classes for Silver Sneakers and became a Silver Sneakers teacher at the YMCA. I also decided that I needed a balanced life and healthy lifestyle, and I began studying Ayurvedic medicine at Bastyr. I am now an Ayurvedic practitioner and Panchakarma practitioner. Did all of my illness evaporate? No, I'm still plagued with osteoarthritis, but that's not my main focus. I don't set a banquet for pain anymore. It's not part. Suffering and restrictions are not the part of my life. Joy is what my life is all about. It's the important thing. So if we want to get healthy, you change these negative emotions, your reaction to bad habits. Then your reality changes. You change your thoughts, you change your reality. Choose to be grateful. Live in a state of grace and love. Find a purpose. These things are what makes a life full. These things is what makes an elder being a wise one. Know who you are. Know that you have a life. You have survived. You have a lifetime behind you. And reach out and teach or help or contribute. That's what will make positive changes in your life. Dance, love, live.